Take it up with your union, if you dare. Which he wouldn't. She softened her tone, but only in mockery, tapping her slipper-shod foot so that he knew she had better things to do. Maybe you need a break, Owen. Maybe you've been working too hard. After tomorrow is over, we can both have a holiday. I'm gonna hang you. I'm gonna string you up from that beam and watch you die. Sweat gathered under his long black fringe, giving him the look of a vampire caught out by the dawn. Full soon thy soul shall have her earthly... She slammed the folder down on the table and had the satisfaction of seeing him jump a foot backwards, the quotation left incomplete. All right, let's get serious. Who put you up to this? Because Owen sure as hell wasn't capable of thinking it up for himself. No one. You're a bitch. You're a bully. You've pushed me too far and you're going to pay for it. For a man working towards a PhD in English literature, Owen's vocabulary was sadly limited. No doubt there were plenty of words running through his head, rehearsed and ready to come out as the last thing she'd ever hear, but the way his mouth flapped open and shut as he fought to control his breathing merely increased her contempt for him. Even the Wordsworth quotation he'd chosen had been a poor one. It isn't your idea. I doubt you have the brains to plan it, and you sure don't have the balls. Who put the idea into your head? And why? In the silence generated by his abject humiliation, she glanced at the clock. Tell whoever it is that they don't frighten me. I'm going to tell everyone. I'll tell the papers. His feet stuttered on the grey-flagged floor as if he was urging himself on, but he made no movement forward. I'm always happy to talk to the papers about my work. Not your work. I'm going to tell them about you. The truth. That you're a liar and a fraud and a murderer. Owen, I think you've just demonstrated why I don't trust you with certain of my sources. You're emotionally unstable and entirely unreliable. Tell whoever you like whatever you like, if you dare. She glanced at the clock again. There was still plenty of time. You're clearly upset, so I won't ask you to help me finish setting up for tomorrow. But I damn well expect you to be there in the morning, doing the job I pay you for. She walked past him slowly, closer than she needed to, in a way that was intended both to show him how little she cared and to dare him to take her on, because to show fear, even to admit it to herself, would be fatal weakness. Her heart hammered as she passed, and his fingers tightened around the rope. But it was the limit of his fantasies, and he stepped back into feet. Our best conceits do prove the greatest liars, he called as she left the room. But the words were barely audible and entirely bereft of threat. You're a liar, Cody Wilder. And a fraud. And a murderer, she mocked him, before closing the kitchen door behind her. 1. The first light was beginning to illuminate the sky above Beacon Hill to the east when Jude Satterthwaite opened the front door of his house in Wordsworth Street and stepped out onto the pavement. Waiting while his girlfriend checked that she hadn't left anything behind, he glanced at his watch. 8:15. That gave him plenty of time to drop Ashley at work before heading on to pick up his mother and take her through to Grasmere for Cody Wilder's much-publicised lecture on Dorothy Wordsworth. Reading was a luxury for which Jude could rarely find the time, and he didn't regard himself as an intellectual, but he was looking forward to hearing the controversial American academic, even if only to see if the reality measured up to the hype. At the very least, it would be an interesting experience. Come on, Ash, we don't have all day. Yes, sir. She gave him a smart salute and followed it up with a wink. Jude couldn't resist the temptation and leaned in to kiss her. A disapproving twitch of a curtain over the road didn't bother him. The folly of love was a lesson he'd learned the hard way and wasn't keen to repeat, but he was confident enough to allow himself to be besotted with Ashley O'Halloran, even if it was largely at a physical level. There could be no risk to him.